Alright, welcome back to the channel. Well, this is going to be a little bit of a gripe video and also a question video to anybody that knows more than I do about ratchets. I had the idea for this video for a while because I wanted to kind of drop down all the ratchets that I currently use on all the automotive projects and just what I've observed over the years, specifically with Craftsman. I want to dive right into it here so I don't fill this video up with a bunch of fluff. These Craftsman ratchets, this one's had a lot of use to it over the years. These ratchets were everything when I was a kid. I mean, this is all that we were able to go to, are these ratchets. And I don't know what the heck happened, but I'm not sure if it's Sears kind of going downhill or Lowe's acquiring Sears or what, but man, I gotta tell you, these things and my personal use with these are horrible. For some reason, the biggest problem with these things is the engagement mechanism that actually ratchets. And the problem I end up running into is when you really, say you got it on full lock and you're really trying to get in there and get something loose or get something tight, I do have a problem with the teeth inside of the ratchet just slipping. And when that happens, man, you get a big old knuckle bust straight onto whatever you were tightening toward. And it'll ruin your day. It makes everything crappy. And I remember being a kid, you know, they have the lifetime warranties to go into Sears and say, what's wrong with it? I don't know, I broke it. You drop it in the bucket, bam, get a new one. And usually the new one was good. This here is the prime example of a replacement from one of the ones that failed. And see how there's so much play in this? It's just so flimsy. And I have also noticed with these is that they get stuck in neutral all the time. So if you're really working on something, you just kind of bump it a little bit with your fat hand or your knuckle, it'll actually bump it into neutral, or it'll just sometimes go into neutral. So these are terrible now. I don't know what happened. It's really sad because I want to support Craftsman, you know, made in the USA, all that good stuff, reasonable price, but I don't know, it's just, I'm tired of getting busted knuckles. So after this happened, I invested in a snap-on, and I gotta tell you, I mean, I never thought I'd care about this, but when you're turning ratchets for a living or you're turning ratchets for a hobby, getting in there and using a tool like this, there's a sense of pride and a sense of hand feel, you know, the action of it. And this thing is just phenomenal. I mean, the balance on the tool is exceptional. These are very overly weighted toward the head. These are much more balanced. And it's definitely, you can definitely feel in the gearing that it's worth the money. Like, just everything is so precise. Everything has such tight tolerances in it. The switch to, you know, the on-off switch, the engagement directional switch, very good and crisp. It doesn't ever get stuck in neutral. It always just performs. It's a very solid tool. It's also serviceable, so you can actually service this. So you get what you pay for with these things. Now, I also I've used this for a number of years, which, you know, the typical snap-on ratchet with a little bit tighter gearing on it, and this is also really good. I mean, it just puts these types of Craftsman ratchets to shame. The better version of the Craftsman ratchet, which has a tighter gear pattern in it, it's much better than the original, but it still does have the tendency to slip at times, and it does drop into neutral more times than it should. It's also not serviceable. So these actually come in the mechanics toolkits that you can get, you know, big box store. A better ratchet than these. If you have, I mean, I don't want to say if you guys have these things, just throw them in the you know, the garbage or whatever. That's not at all what I'm trying to say. I'm just trying to say that if you're turning ratchets for a living, definitely look into the snap-on stuff. It's, you know, I'm a believer now. Gearwrench is also one of those where I didn't think it was going to be a good performer, but I tell you what, it is. It's really good. It's got a nice tight, even tighter than the snap-on, 84 tooth gear pattern in it. Real good. It never gets stuck in neutral, and it also, the head pivots too, which can be good and bad. There's times where you need to use this, and there's times you should just avoid it, because sometimes your angle of attack will get messed up when you're turning a ratchet, and it'll get out of whack and you could round something off. So, but I do like these gear wrenches. They aren't cheap either. Now this is a ratchet I wanted to show. This is an Pro Ratchet. I used to manage an Advanced Auto Parts way back in the day, and I got this ratchet just working there. And I got to tell you, this thing is great. It's serviceable. If it's got a great balance to it. It's got a good hand feel. It's lightweight. And I don't know, for some reason, I go to this ratchet a lot. Okay, and getting into the 1/4" drive stuff. Again, I don't have a snap-on one of the 1/4" drive because I just don't use 1/4" drive a lot. But my go-to is always the better polished Craftsman over these two, just because of the same crap with the gearing on it. They just see, it's just not good. It works sometimes it doesn't, and that can be a real bear, especially if you're underneath the dashboard or something, and you're trying to really, you know, use your fingers and stuff to kind of run the ratchet, and it just doesn't want to catch, and it just starts slipping. I mean, it's a problem. So anyway, guys, I just wanted to kind of do this little ratchet video. I know it's kind of random, but it's something I've been wanting to do for a while. I want to know your thoughts. What do you guys use? What do you recommend? You know, what are your thoughts on these Craftsman tools? Have you guys noticed that these, you know, pretty much a lot of the Craftsman stuff nowadays is kind of going downhill? I see it all over the place in Lowe's, and it's kind of sad to me, because it's just, you go up to that stuff and you feel it, and it just doesn't have the same, you know, I don't know how to explain it. It's almost, it just doesn't have the same action as it once did. It doesn't have the same prestige to it. It just seems very mass-produced. It's not really the tools of our grandfathers anymore, you know. So it's just kind of sad, but maybe they'll start to change their mind and start making things like Snap-on here, a little bit better quality. You know, there's no doubt in my mind that this ratchet, you know, wouldn't last for 50 years. It's just going to continuously give you problems while you use it. It's just not going to be a fun feel. So yeah, guys, let me know your thoughts, comment, subscribe, and I'll get you in the next video.